Hey guys, back with another projector review. This is the Samsung Freestyle. This is a portable projector that was introduced by Samsung, I believe, in March of 2022. In the box you have the projector, of course. There's a remote with a Type-C charging port. It's rechargeable, of course. Also, you got a user manual as well as a quick start guide. There's a Type-C to Type-C charging cable that's for powering on the projector, as well as a power brick. Let me just zoom in on the power requirements. That will come in handy later on when you're trying to find an external charger for the projector. I'll get into that shortly. The remote control is actually pretty simple. It's got a few quick access buttons: Netflix, Disney, Prime Video, Samsung TV Plus. It's got your volume up, volume down, channel up, channel down, which is specifically for the Samsung app, Samsung TV Plus app. Home button, back button, play, pause, power on, off, and the voice assistant. Also the directional buttons. As I mentioned before, it is rechargeable via USB Type-C. It's very light, very small, but 4 inches maybe. It's got a white plasticky finish. The projector itself is it's very interesting looking. It's got a cylindrical design. The finish is like a white plasticky matte white finish. It sits on this metal stand and it rotates 180 degrees. The idea is that you can project your image onto ceiling, onto any wall. So it gives you that freedom. It comes with a lens cap. Of course, it's always useful to keep dust off of your lens. In the front you have your lens, you have your sensors, you have some touchscreen buttons. One thing I wish Samsung had done is that, yes, it does come with this stand, the metal stand, but I wish they had some kind of screw in the middle. So if you didn't want to put it on that stand, if you wanted to put it on a tripod, you had that option, but you don't. It's very minimalistic looking. It's got these three, basically just two actually ports. There's a micro HDMI port for hooking up your game consoles or external dongle like a Fire TV stick. That's your USB Type-C port. That's where you would use to power on the projector or to connect it to an external charger. Mic on and off. It's got a speaker. It's a 5-watt speaker. Probably see that right there. And what Samsung has done is that you see these little cutouts and they go all around on the front and the back, and that is supposed to achieve a 360 degree effect to the sound. If it does or not, we'll test that out. But yeah, it's a very minimalistic looking projector. I actually like it. It's probably about 2 pounds or something, so it's very light. It is portable in that sense that it's super light, it's super small, very small footprint, but it's not portable in the sense that it doesn't come with a battery built in. So you can hook it up to an external battery. There are some minimum requirements, and I'll get into that shortly. But yeah, that's the projector. I do like it a lot. So let's test it out. So this is what the home screen looks like. It's running the Tizen OS, which is the same interface that you see on the newer Samsung TVs, and I think, in my opinion, is one of the better interfaces out there. Seen a lot of negative reviews about how Tizen doesn't work well on this projector, that it's glitchy and it's slow to respond to the remote. But I had no such issues. I think Tizen works very well on this projector. It's not glitchy, it's not lagging, it's very responsive to the remote control. When I tried to load up the apps load very quickly. It's quite possible that at some point it was an issue and Samsung probably did an update, but at this point Tizen works very well, and I think it's one of the strengths of this projector. So taking a look at the settings, there's a lot to go through. In the picture mode, you can toggle between movie, dynamic, standard. I thought movie looked the best. You can change the picture size, 16:9, 4:3, or custom, depending upon your preference. You can also go into expert settings and fine-tune the image further: brightness, contrast, sharpness, color. There's a ton of settings, and you can just spend a lot of time until you like the way the image looks. So you can change the sound output depending upon if you're using the projector speaker or a sound bar or Bluetooth speaker. You have different sound modes: amplify, adaptive, standard. I thought amplify worked best. Just like with image, you can go into expert settings and further fine-tune the sound as well. So in connection, you can set up your network. In external device manager, you can enable the HDMI CEC. You can also hook up an external Bluetooth device like a gaming controller or a keyboard. Also, you can enable game mode. You can set up Apple AirPlay, which this projector does allow. In general privacy, you have your projector settings, your Keystone, focus, scale and move. I'll get into that very shortly. You have your setup guide. You could also do software updates, device care, remote management, all that stuff, yada yada yada. So one of my favorite things about this projector is that auto Keystone works absolutely brilliantly, and you combine that with the fact that you can scale the screen down to 50% of the size, as well as the fact that you can also move the screen left and right, and also up and down. So that gives you the freedom to basically put it in the in the corner somewhere in a small room and still get a perfectly centered image. I mean, this is a small room in my basement. It's a tiny room, and somehow, because I'm able to put it at an angle in the corner, I'm able to get a beautiful, completely centered 100-inch image. It's brilliant. I absolutely love that about this projector. So just like with Keystone, autofocus actually works very well on this projector. I can be a bit of a snob when it comes to focus, but on this projector I did not feel the need to go and manually fine-tune the focus. There's an ambient mode that you can access from the home page. You can pick from different pieces of art. There are some live ones like a fireplace, snow falling, landscape. There are some abstract ones. I think it's the same ambient mode that's available on a lot of these Samsung TVs. The idea behind that is that instead of looking at a TV that's turned off, or a projector screen, or just a blank wall, you can turn that area into, you can turn that space into a cool little piece of art. So yeah, cool little thing, and I think a lot of companies are doing that. LG is doing that too. I was impressed with the sound coming from this projector, especially since it's so small and it's just a 5-watt speaker, but the design of this projector, as well as the cutouts that go around the projector, do give it a richer, more 360-degree feel. Here's a little audio demo, and keep in mind it's just my camera recording it, so the sound actually, it's much better in person than on the camera. So let's talk about image quality. As is the case with most projectors, this projector is not meant to be watched in a room with a lot of lighting, with a lot of ambient light or daylight. As you can see, the image just doesn't look good. It's very washed out, and this is a bright, colorful scene, and even this kind of looks saturated, and dark scenes are more or less unwatchable. But in a relatively dark room, the image really does come alive. The image looks amazing, the colors look very natural, and that's what you expect from Samsung. Especially with a bit of fine-tuning, the image just looks breathtaking. Even the dark scenes look pretty good. You don't expect that from a projector like this with a low contrast ratio, but it actually looks pretty amazing. In fast scenes like watching an action sequence or watching sports, I did not notice any visible blurriness. The design of this projector gives you the freedom to project the image anywhere, including ceiling if that's your thing, and thanks to auto Keystone, no matter where you project it, you'll get a perfect 16:9 image. So according to Samsung, the optimal viewing size for this is 30 inches to 100 inches, and that doesn't mean that you cannot go bigger than 100 inches. As you can see in this video, it's about 130 inches. All they mean is that the image may not be optimal, but honestly guys, this is a 130 inch image, but I did not see any loss of focus. I watched sports, I watched movies, there was like some text at the bottom and there was absolutely no loss of focus. So yeah guys, go big if you want to, why not? So guys, in the introduction I had mentioned that it doesn't have an internal battery, but to make it truly portable you can get an external battery, like the one that I have here. It's connected to a USB via USB to USB cable. The battery, just make sure that it has a Type-C output of a Type-C port that outputs at minimum of 65 watts. This one gives me about 3 hours. I'll leave a link to this in the description, but basically just get any battery that has at least 65 watts minimum Type-C output, and yeah, you're set to go. This is the truly portable projector, and you can take it camping, you can do outdoor movie nights. Samsung did release a battery pack for the Freestyle very recently, I think in the last few weeks. It retails for about 190 bucks. It is a 32 milliamp hours, so it gives you about 3 hours of viewing time. The one that I'm using also gives about 3 hours. It retails on Amazon for about 70 bucks. So unless you're into the aesthetics of it, I would just get something cheaper online. So guys, in my humble opinion, in conclusion, I think that a lot of the negative reviews online have to do with the price. When this was first introduced, it was $900, and for a 1080p projector that, the maximum brightness of I think 550 lumens or just over 200 ANSI lumens, that's a lot of money. And I thought that was a lot of money, and I didn't buy it then, but the price has come down. I think you can pick one up for a new one for under $600 on Amazon. They have used in new condition for under $500. I think for that amount of money, I think it's one of the best portable projectors that I've tested, and I've tested a few Anchor, Nebula, XGME, and for the things that this one can do, I think it's one of the best ones out there. I mean, for the image quality, for the sound, for the design. And most of all, the fact that it is running on Tizen OS, which I believe is one of the better, if not the best, operating systems in all the portable projectors that I've tested. There's no need for an outside dongle, and yeah, of course you'll need to buy an external battery, but you can pick one up cheaply on Amazon or anywhere online. So that's my review, guys. Hope you find it useful. Until next time.